So I will first quickly present my company and myself. I'm working for Cazo. Cazo, it's a French company based in Bordeaux, existing since 1954, and specialist on the wine pump for any food alimentary liquids, but mainly for the wine industry because we love the wine industry and we are based in Bordeaux, so it makes sense. And we are today the main French manufacturer of wine pumps, and we have like around 35,000 pumps running in the world. And myself, I'm Louis Germain. I'm working for Cazo since 2016 now, and I'm in charge of the sales for the company in France, but also in many countries like United States. Bucher Vaseline North America is hosted the webinar today because that's our distributor in the United States, in all North America. And as you can know, like Bucher Vaseline North America provide winery equipment like presses and filter distiller, but not only that, also bottling line, enological product, and Cazo pumps. So that's why they invite me today to present you all the kind of pump we are mainly used in the wine industry. And I will also present more specifically some kind of pumps that Cazo is making today as flexible impellers and lob pumps. So we will start the presentation. Thank you. So to date, mainly on the wine industry, you can find on the cellar different kind of pumps, and pumps are very important for the wine industry because this machine can really help you to make your work easier because of the model you choose and all the option you add to your pumps. So no, on the wine industry is not that the pump will adapt to the user, and it's not the user who have to adapt himself to the pumps, which is a main difference. Pumps carrying liquid and more specifically meat in the wine and alcohol industry are volumetric pumps. A pump in which a certain amount of trapped fluid is forced to move to the outlet. The flow rate of volumetric pumps is proportional to the speed of actuation of its movable elements and depends very little on the discharge pressure. The volumetric pumps are of great diversity, and in patents database, they are called positive displacement pumps. The main kind of pumps we have on the wine industry are first the piston pumps. So you can see on the first pictures, the piston pump are built around the concept of a reciprocation piston alternately sucking in low pressure field, then compressing and discharging the field to a high pressure area. Pistons are self-priming and are fairly tolerant to solids, sediments, and viscous liquids like the lees. These pumps are quite heavy and not so easy to move. They are reversible, but mechanically. In order to clean it, you have to be careful with these pumps because of the bell, as you can see on the pictures. This bell, during a transfer, can get some wine going up to the bell, and then when you are cleaning, you have to be able and to be careful to clean the bell also in order to not get anything stuck in it. Then you have some peristaltic pumps, as everybody know peristaltic maybe. This pump, the principle of this pump is to work by turning a shaft that progressively squeeze a soft tube filled with wine and create a deep pressure into the bell on the inlet, and thus pushing the wine out of the pumps on the high pressure side of the housing. So a peristaltic pump is able to move must, which is very great, but also to work well on the wine. So on the pictures, you can see there is a hopper attached to the pumps. So if you use it on wine, you should remove the hopper. These pumps are tended to be large and awkward, like the piston, and are generally pretty big. Then the last pump in the next pump is the mono pumps, eccentric screw pumps, exactly the term. These pumps work by turning a helical rotor within a helix-shaped elastomeric stator. So this pump is self-priming, able to pass very high viscous liquid, easy to clean. You just have to be very careful when you are using these pumps about running dry, because this pump cannot support to run dry for many seconds. And if you do it, you have a risk to burn the rotor against the stator, and then you will have to change the spare part, and it can be long and cost you a lot. Then you have the centrifugal pumps. So this pump is a stainless steel wheels into the casing, which is running, but this pump don't have the power to get the wine. So the wine should arrive to the pump to be pushed by the pumps. So it's not a self-priming pumps, but the main advantage of this pump is high resistance to the pressure, to the temperature, sorry, and also to the alcohol degree. So these pumps are mainly used to transfer alcohol, because you can go very high in degrees without having any risk to damage anything into the casing because of the stainless steel. Diaphragm pumps. So the next one is a pump working by contracting the rubber diaphragm to pull the wine into a chamber through an inlet valve, and then expanding the diaphragm to push the wine out of the chamber through an outlet valve. So this pump is very light, very easy to use, very self-priming, but you can only work with this pump in one direction. So if you need to reverse, you will have to change all your line, and so you have to get a clever cellar hand who put some valve before and after the pumps in order to close it, disconnecting the hose, turn the pump, and push on the other way. That's the only problem, but and also need to get some compressed air close to the pumps in order to plug it and be able to run these pumps. A main advantage of these pumps is if you are running the pumps and someone close the outlet valve, there is no risk to damage anything, because the pump will keep push, and the wine will not arrive to the casing, so you have no risk to damage, which can be very good. And then the two last model I want to present you are flexible impeller pumps and lob pumps. So that's the pump mainly made by Caso. So I will give you a bit more details on this kind of pump later. Choosing a pumps for your winery is important things, and you have to think about many criteria in order to get the right pump for the right application. So it's very important for the winemaker in order to respect what he want to do. And one of the main things on the wine is the dissolved oxygen. So I put you some curves to show you with a different kind of pump what they can bring into the wine. So as you can see on the curves, some pumps are more respectful on this, but in fact, a pump equipped with an air bell, like the piston on the peristaltic, on the inlet or the outlet of the pump, are most subject to add oxygen during the transfer, because these bells are full of air. So when the wine is passing through the pumps, the bell can inject air into the wine. So that's why you have like a peak at the beginning, because of the wine is in contact with the oxygen. But also after, all the other kind of pump are working with a very close casing. So with the other kind, you cannot bring oxygen into your wine. The only way to bring oxygen, if you can see, like for example, during a transfer and you have some bubble at the outlet, it's probably because you have a leak somewhere, or you have a hose which is not tight enough. And also the inlet hose can be a little bit old. And if you have a hole in the hose, when you will start the pump and start the suction, you will get some air from the hole. So if you reverse the pump just to see, the pump will push wine through the hole. So you will see a leak. So you will see you have like a hole hose and you need to change it. But generally, all the all the oxygen bring into the wine during a transfer is not because of the pump, it's because of something else. There is also other criteria important to think about when you are choosing a pump. So first, you have to think about why you need a pump for which application, what you want to do with it, and this will help to be able to choose the model who can adapt to your application. If you need, for example, to do just a transfer, or you want to be able to pass some solids and filling barrels, doing filtration, pump over, anything. Then you have to think about the speed. You will have to reach a certain amount of speed. So, which is important to know, it's the size of the hose you are using, because the size of the hose will define like the maximum speed you will be able to reach. For example, you cannot run a pump at 150 gallons per minute if you have a 1.5 inch line. You will have to adapt and to use, for example, a 3 inch line. So this is not the pump who is not able to reach the speed. That's your line because of the physical law of the fluid mechanics. So just be involved of that and just respect the maximum speed because of the hose. So then I will show you the design of the pumps that you can find. Like you have many components on the pump who are all very important. So first of all, you can have like electrical box. So the electrical box will permit you to control the pump, the start stop, to choose the direction, and also to increase or decrease the speed if you have a possibility to change the speeds. So on the left pump, you can see a very small electrical box, which is just to choose like one or the second speed, and also to start and stop the pumps. And on the right pumps, the biggest one, you can see a bigger electrical box with antenna, because you have option of on the pumps. You have a possibility to change the speed and everything. So that the permit to control the pumps. Then you can add on your pump what we call a variable frequency drive, which is mainly the brain of the pumps. That's the place where you can put all the parameters of your pumps. So for example, the minimum speed and the maximum speed, you will put inside, you will wire to through the VFD all the option you add on the pumps. So it will permit to control the option, to send the information to the electrical box and everything. The VFD is connected to the motor. The motor will give the power of the pumps. So because of the motor, you will define the power of the pumps and the speed you will be able to reach. Between the casing and the motor, on all the new generation pumps, we put what we call a reducer. The reducer is here to absorb some power of the motor, and in order to make the pump running at high speed, but without too many rotation per minute of the impeller or of the lobe. So more respectful for the wine you will pass through the pumps. Then you have the casing, so different on any kind of pumps. So you have a round casing for the left pump, which there is a impeller inside, and you have a square casing on the right one, rectangle, where there is a lobe into this casing. So that's the main part and important part. And then you have the trolley. So this one, the cart can be changed. So you have a simple one, just if you need to move a pumps on a small distance or anything. And you can have a big one, like on the right one, with the big wheels. And this trolley will also help you to pass over the hose. So if you need, for example, to run the to push the pumps for a long distance in the winery, we can know like there is always like many hose on the ground or everything, and when they are full of water, it's pretty hard to move them and to pass them over the pumps. So it's better if you can move easily the pump over the hose. So this trolley will help you to do that on these pumps. So now I'm gonna present you bit more about the flexible impeller. So at the beginning of the company, Caso, like 70 years ago, we first introduced the impeller pump on the market, and it was very simple pumps, like a motor, a small casing, and a small impeller inside, running like, for example, at 1,500 up to like even 2,000 rotation per minute. So very, very high rotation. So not very respectful for the wine, but that was the technology like 70 years ago. And in 1996, we searched and we developed more models of flexible impeller in order to be more respectful for the wine. So the first thing was to be able to reach the same flow, but without running too fast. And with a bigger casing, like we increase the casing, we put like a 3 times bigger casing on the pumps, and the reducer between the motor and the casing help to reduce, for example, from 1,500 rotation per minute to like 650 or 700 rotation per minute. So we divide per 2 the rotation, and to get the pump and to be more respectful for the wine. So today's on the Enoflex range, all the pumps are equipped with a motor, a reducer, and a casing, and we have, as we can see on the next slide, we have different kind of impeller pumps. So first of all, the way of working of the impeller pumps, you can see it on the first schema, is the wine is coming into the casing, and because of the rotation of the impeller against the casing, like the blade, they are running and touching the casing, creating a suction, and then when the wine is coming through the casing, pushing the wine out of the casing. But it's flexible impeller, so it means like the pump is can be quite sensitive to the pressure. So for example, you have a pump who can go up to 100 gallons per minute, but during the transfer, with the pressure of the outlet tanks pushing against the pumps, when you feel it, you will maybe lose a bit of a flow, but not so much. So we have 2-speed pumps. So the basical pumps for transferring pump over, but this pump is able to run both direction. So you don't have to calculate perfectly all the wine you are pushing through. You can reverse the pump if you get too much wine into the line. And then on the flexible impeller, we also add VFD. So it's integrated on the motor, and the VFD permits you to run the pumps from a minimum speed to a high speed, And for example, on the smallest flexible impeller with a VFD, we can go from 2 gallons per minute. And on the bigger one, we are able to go up to 100 and even 230 gallons per minute. So this pump can be perfect for transferring also, pump over if you need to regulate the speed during the pump over, but also for barrels works, for filtration, for bottling, and for cleanings. Only because of the VFD, as I told you, that the brain of the pump, you will be able also to add some option who are gonna be directly wired into the VFD. On another slide, I will present you all the option we are able to put on the pump with a VFD included. You can see on the right schema, um, the mechanical part of the casing is very simple. You have just a casing, front plate, O-ring, and the mechanical seal on the back. But everything is made to be able to be fixed on the winery by maintenance people in a few minutes. So that's not kind of pump where you can spend a day to fix it. If you need to change a rotor or the impeller, it will yeah, make you like maybe around like 10 to 15 minutes. So pretty easy to do it. Then I will present you the lob pumps. So the lob pumps are on the wine industry since maybe 2010, and Caso are creating his first model since 2010, but we put them on the market in 2012 because we were sure like these pumps are very adapted to the wine industry. So we start with 4 models, and now we've got a new model since 3 years because people were asking for a smaller model. So we are now able to present you five model of lob pumps in the Caso range. So the the main principle of a lob pumps is this kind of pump are very powerful and self-priming. So you will see on the next slide um, the principle of working of the pump. So that the rotation of the pump against the casing, who are creating the section of the pumps and pushing the wine through the casings. So the main advantage of a Caso lob pumps are the form of the lob. We've got what we call a bi-lob, and so it means like we are able to pass solid through the casing without having any risk to damage the quality of the grape if you pass grape on the grape receipt or on the dig out, but also during all the pump over and everything. So the lob pump are able so to do anything on the winery from the crusher to the bottling, including like transfer of grape for feeding tanks or even for dig outs. We are able to get the wine from 19 feet deep. So it means like if you need to get the wine from the top of the tank because you don't want to get the lid from the bottom of the tank, you will be able to put your hose from the top and to get the wine through the pumps. So it's a very powerful pump in terms of priming, but also in terms of pushing. The lob we are using into the casing are stainless steel lob, but you have a cover of nitrile, which is alimentary rubber. And as you can see, the casing, the black lob. So this is the nitrile, and the nitrile is fitting perfectly the casing in order to create the section. We use nitrile because nitrile is able to support very large range of temperature from 14 to 190 Fahrenheit. So if you need to warm the grape or everything, you will be able to do it and to pump it with log pumps. So the architecture of the casing is made to be cleaned very easily. You will just have to pass some cleaning product, the cleaning product you already use, and with water through the pumps, and you make it run for a few minutes in order to clean everything. You don't have any corner on the casing or any parts where you can still have some piece of skins stuck into the casing. Just when you pass grape through the casing, we just highly recommend to open the front plate to be sure like everything is clean, because you pass like entire grapes. But to open the casing, you disconnect the front plate with a 4 bolt, and so it will took you like maybe like 2 minutes to open the front plate. So that's very easy. You don't have any like stainless bell air on these pumps, so no risk to get oxygen into the wine during the transfer. On the bottom of the casing, you have a drain. So the drain help you to remove all the water with cleaning products you can have in order to dry perfectly the casing, and you are also able to run dry this pump for like up to 40 seconds without having any risk to damage the casing. So 40 seconds should be good enough to get the wine through the pump, or also to empty the hose when they are full of wine, and you need to push all the wine into the received tanks. So our pump is very high resistant to the pressure. So um, the we will see on another slide. I will show you a bit more. Just first, I will go back to the lobe to really insist of the shape of the lobe, which is very important, and the shape is made to optimize the flow and the contact area. So there is enough space, empty space into the casing to be able to pass entire grapes, entire berries without having any risk to damage and smash the berries. So, and the heart and of the lobe is stainless steel in order to be strong and not able to be deformed or anything by the staples or anything you can pass through the casing. So on the next one, now you will see so the curve on the right. So I will explain you this curve is in order to show you like during the transfer, even if you have more and more pressure. So I'm sorry, it's not in PSA, it's in bar, but it means like even around like 80 or 70 PSA, the curve are straight. It means like during all the transfer, when the pressure increase in the line, you are able to keep almost the same flow as when you start the pumps. So it's important to know like when you are starting a transfer with, for example, a pump able to reach 250 gallons per minute. If you need to transfer 250 gallons, you know, like you will only need like 1 hour to do it and not consider the pressure and everything. So that's the most versatile pumps on the market today. Just I will quickly back on the last slide. Yeah, that's the more versatile pump on the market. So you be able to be used on the crusher. So you add a hopper to the pumps to push the grapes and to the bottling. So for any things, very compact, robust, gentle, light, so easy to move, which is important also for people using the pump every day. Um, for example, a lobe 600, which is able to reach like almost 300 gallons per minute, it's only like 500 kg. And a piston or a peristaltic doing same flow is around like 1,200 kg. So it's almost the double. So it's very important today for the respect of the cellar hand to give them a product easy to move when they have to do it every day. Then, as I told you, on the pumps, in order to help you to make the job, you will be able to add some options. Option can be important, like for example, the remote control. So we have few versions. You can have it wireless or wired. So the remote control will permit you to work by yourself, just you, in order, for example, if you need to make a transfer, you will not have to stay around the pumps to control it, but you will jump, you will go on the top of the tanks where the tank you are filling, and you will be able to control the pump from far away. So if you need to reduce the speed at the end of the transfer, or also to, for example, start the pump or stop the pump, you will have to do it. So you have no one on the top of the tank and someone on the pumps, and both of them working together. So just one people to do the job. Pressure sensors are very important on this kind of pumps, because the pressure sensor will protect the pump and the hose and the line and the tanks against the high pressure or low pressure, but also will help you to work on the barrels. For when you are filling the barrels, you mainly have like a filling gun in your hand, and when the barrels is full, you can close the filling gun, and so the pump will keep pushing for few seconds, but because the filling gun is closed, the pump will go and the line will go up in pressure, and the pressure switch will stop the pump automatically. So you have no risk to damage a hose, and then you will go to the next barrels, you will reopen your filling gun, and the pump will restart at the same speed. You have the possibility also to add a flow meters on the pumps. So the flow meters will help you to, for example, pushing wine through the pump and be able to control how many gallons you pass through the pumps. But also with the flow meters, you will be able to set up a certain amount of wine, and as soon as you push all the wine through the pump will be off automatically. So that's very good. When you want to transfer a tank to another one, you can set up everything and just go doing something else, and you know, like the pump will be off as soon as the wine is into the outlet tanks. Dry run sensor is an option in order to protect the pumps against the dry run. So, for example, there is people very taking care of that, mainly using on the white or on the rosé. You don't want to bring any oxygen at the end of a transfer. So this sensor will stop the pump as soon as the pump doesn't have any more wine into it. After like 5 or 10 or 15 seconds, the pump will be off automatically. You can add a touch screen. The touch screen is giving you more advantage to control the pumps, because you will be able to see the speed of the pumps on the touch screen. You will be able to see also the pressure you can have on the line in live. You can choose if you want to work like with a timer. For example, you need to run the pump to do a pump over for 20 minutes. You can like set up 20 minutes, and then the pump will be off right after. You can add, if you are working on the barrels, you can work on the pressure, like your stop pressure and your restart pressure. If you have the flow meters integrated into the pumps, you will be able to set up the amount of the liter you want to pass, and you will see everything on the touchscreen. And you will adjust also if you want some adjustments on the set up your pump, to change the language, to change if you want to work in liters, in gallons, to change all the information and the parameters. You will have access on the touchscreen. And then you have the hopper. The hopper is the option to push the grapes from the crusher to the tanks by the pumps. So the hopper is connected straight to the pumps, and they are connected together. So as soon as you have a grape into the hopper will start automatically, and then the pump start also. And when there is no more grape into the hopper, the pump is off, and the hopper is off, and the pump is off. So that's the main option you can add on the pumps. So here you will have some video about the pump running. So on the two first video, it's in order to show you how the pump work on the crusher. So you can see the hopper after optical sorting table. The hopper is just behind, so there is no liquids. It's very mainly berries going from the hopper to the pumps and then to the tanks. And on the second video, that's the same. We can see like grapes into after a distemmer going from the hopper into the tank. So it's on the first video, the line is like a 120, is like a 4 or 5 inch, and on the second video, it's only a 2-inch line. So that's in order to show like the pump is able to push grapes. On the third video, we are doing a dig out. It was like last week in New Zealand. We had fermenting tanks, and we make a blend between the juice and the berries. You need to get 40 to 50% of the juice left into the tanks, and you make a big blend with the berries and the juice. And if you have a big blend, you will be able to get all the grape from the bottom valve and sucking them and pushing them straight into the bucket presses. So this is very helpful, because with this process, you have no one going into the tank and having to shovel all the grape into a belt, into another belt, and to pushing to the press. You do all in the confined space. No one going into the confined space, and very easier for the cellar hand to dig out a tanks. And then on the last one is a lees transfer. So we were pushing some lees, white lees from the tank to the filters and through a 2-inch line. And we were passing, as you can see, like the hose are very long. So we were pushing very a long way by a fixed line, and the pump were doing it very easily. So it's in order to show like the power of priming, and yeah, how the pump is able to push also EV liquids if needed. Then because of the pumps industry is always trying to find more things to help the cellar hand and the winemaker to do the job. The new thing on the market now is on the pump industry is Aerosmooth. Aerosmooth is a machine able to do pump over, punch down, homogenization and oxygenation of the tanks without having to move the wine anymore. So we have on the machine, it's a very advantage machine, because it's very easy to use. It's like a plug and play, very efficient, very able to save time, because you will only need like 1 minute to pump over like up to 2,600 gallons, and you can walk on the pump on the tank, able to go up to 13,200 gallons. So it's a very large range. It's very gentle. There is no mechanical effect on the grapes or on the juice, and it's a very natural pushing. And this machine keep pushing with the same flow during all the pump over or the work. So it's not like a hard push and stop, which can be like which can damage the grapes. This one keeps the same push of air during all the things. So on the last slide, you will see a mechanical presentation of the Aerosmooth. And also I will show you a video of the Aerosmooth working on the open fermenters. So the Aerosmooth got like two hose, one the inlet and the outlet. You have to be careful, like to be sure, because there is no VFD, like the plug is on the right way in order to not get the suction on the push on the outlet or the contrary. So the inlet or the green hose will be into the tanks if you want to do like a close pump over. So if you push it on the top of the berries, you will get the CO2, or if you push it outside, you will get the oxygen to make like a aerated pump over. And the outlet hose should be under the berries into the wine. And when you will start the pumps, it will create like a bubbles and mix the berries with the grapes. So on the second video, you will see how quick is it to bring the wine into the berries. And so I'm just starting the machine, and then after a few seconds, so I put the stainless steel stick under the berries, and then you can see the caps already moving and the wine passing over the berries in order to put the wine on the top and to make the pump over. So it's a very quick machine, really gentle, really easy to bring because it's not so heavy. So you can bring it on the catwalk if you need it. You have a valve on the exit who permit you to reduce the amount of air into the wine. If you open it, you will lose some air before the air can reach the grapes. So it will be more gentle if you have a small tanks, and you have a really good homogenization on this machine. So this is a Aerosmooth. So there is some machine in stock at Bukervas in North America warehouse. So please feel free to ask if you want to try this machine during the harvest. Is it possible? You have to contact your sales rep, and he will bring you the machine. Also, it's able to do some trial on the low pumps. So if you have some question or anything on it, you can like ask also your sales rep to make a trial in your winery and to see how works the machine into your cellar with your application. And because every cellar got specific things, so it really help you to be sure like you are buying the right machine for your cellar. So I will thank you everybody for all the attention you had during the webinar. Thanks a lot. As I say, like if you have any question, please feel free to ask on the chat. So